When the sun has set on a Friday night, bringing peace into your home, families will gather all around singing Shabbat, Shalom. Everybody sing Shalom, Shalom. Shalom, shalom. It's a gift from God to put a smile upon your face. He's got the whole world in his hands, so obey his commands and you will know peace. Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom, shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm so glad to be here with you for this Shabbat. This is not an ordinary Shabbat. It happens to be the very first day of Elul today. Now, Elul is the month that precedes Rosh Hashanah, which means that this is exactly 1 month today before the holiday of the new year. In some communities, they'll blow a shofar every day during the month of Elul, and if I can get a good sound out, I'll try to blow one for you today. So I thought it might be fun to talk about the shofar today. I have 2 shofar out with me. Here's a relatively small one, and as you can see, this is where the air comes out, and here's the mouthpiece where the air goes in. I also have a larger shofar to show you today. Here it is. This is a really gorgeous shofar. I got it in Jerusalem. It belongs to one of my kids. The reason I don't know which exactly is because I got each of them a shofar once a long time ago. This is where the sound comes out. And this is the mouthpiece where the sound goes in. Now, what is a shofar? A shofar is the horn of a ram. And I thought it might be interesting for me to show you a few pictures of some shofarot, still on the head of their originator. So let's take a look now at just a few pictures. That last one was so cute, wasn't he? And that other one was so powerful and intense. Anyway, let's talk about the shofar itself and why it has become such an important symbol of Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is the Jewish New Year. And it's interesting to consider that on the secular New Year, in other words, December 31st, when people celebrate, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and the ball drops and everyone yells Happy New Year, they actually blow horns. And sometimes I wonder if that tradition comes from our tradition, because we have been blowing a horn, though it's a natural horn, for thousands of years to celebrate Rosh Hashanah. Now, there are a couple of powerful images that are related to the notion of the shofar. First of all, you have the story of the binding of Isaac, which we read traditionally on the second day of Rosh Hashanah. And in the story of the binding of Isaac, remember that Abraham is tested by God. God wants to know if Abraham is willing to sacrifice his one and only son, Isaac, for God. And amazingly, Abraham passes that test. Very controversial story if you think about it. But Abraham brings Isaac to the mountaintop, and he's about to sacrifice his own son. He's actually bound him, ready to sacrifice him. And then a voice from the heavens calls out, Avraham, Avraham, Abraham, Abraham. And Abraham says, Hineni, I am here. And then the angel says to him, or the voice of God, don't sacrifice your son. Don't lay a hand on the boy, but rather sacrifice that ram that is caught in the thicket. And Abraham looks up, and sure enough, there's a ram whose horns are caught in the thicket. And so that's one association that we have with the shofar. But the other association is more philosophical, and that has to do with the shape and what happens with the sound. Now, when you blow into a shofar, I'm going to embarrass myself right now because I'm going to show you, and it's kind of weird. You make this sound with your mouth. You go like this. Now, you press your lips together. Try it. Try doing it for a second. It's not easy. You press your lips together and you blow hard and get this kind of weird noise. It's a strange sound. But that sound winds its way through the shofar, and out comes that piercing, powerful sound. Now, some say that on the high holidays, we're supposed to transform ourselves. We're supposed to take who we are and make ourselves even better, or make ourselves even truer to ourselves, and take the harsh part of ourselves and make it beautiful and resounding instead. And so the shofar can become a symbol for the transformation that we are hopefully going to go through between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Now let's talk about the different sounds that the shofar makes, or the different sounds that we make on the shofar. There's the tekiah. Let's call it out. Repeat after me. Tekiah, right? We call out tekiah, and then it's one sound, right? One sound, and it goes up. And then there's shvarim. We go shvarim, and it's 3. It goes, I'm doing it with my mouth right now. Later I'll make some sounds with the actual shofar. And then there's trua. And the trua blast is a staccato, for those of you who know music. And most people do 9 little da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And sometimes I think, and this may sound really out there, sometimes I think that there's a parallel between the shofar and matzah. You can say, what? Matzah is, 6 months later and it's Passover. It's true. But remember that at the Passover Seder, we break the matzah at one point. That's to represent our brokenness and our desire to be whole. I think of the different shofar blasts as also our brokenness. None of us are perfect. All of us have flaws, and we hope to improve. All of us have memories that we wish we didn't have, and we'd like to sort of heal from them. And all of that represents the brokenness that can be repaired if we give ourselves the attention and our souls the attention that they need. And so the shofar can represent that, because you do the tekiah, which is a blast, and then shvarim, which is 3, and then trua, which is the 9. But then remember, in the end, we do tekiah gedolah, meaning one long, solid blast representing the wholeness that we hope to experience. Well, while I have the shofar out here, I might as well try, okay? I'm taking a chance here because I don't know what kind of sound. I haven't been doing this for a whole year. So let's see how I do. I got to press my lips together and give it the best I can. This one's a little harder. Ironically, sometimes a small shofar is harder to blow than a big one, but let me try it. Here we go. See, it's kind of high-pitched, this one. Now, I think that the large shofar, again, I haven't heard it in a while, but I think the large shofar is actually a slightly lower pitch. Here, I'm going to do it like this so you can kind of see. Here we go. That was not good. Let me try with the big one more time. Well, I've got some time to practice between now and Rosh Hashanah. While we're on that subject, let's give a hint of the melody of Rosh Hashanah, which is going to be a while till we really have and really immerse in it, but just to give you a little tickler. Lai, la, lai, 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 la, lai, 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 Yai, lai, lai, ya, la, 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 lai. La, la, lai, lai, lai. Well, having gotten a taste of the Rosh Hashanah spirit now that we've entered the month of Elul, let's turn our hearts to this Shabbat and make the blessings together. Please join me in the blessing. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Shel Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner v'tzivanu lehadlik ner v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, God, ruler of the universe, who makes our lives holy through mitzvot and commands us to light the Shabbat lights. And it's amazing to think that in just 1 month, we're going to be saying the blessing, Shel Shabbat Veshel Yom Tov, that it's for Shabbat and for the holiday, since it'll be together. And, of course, we'll have the round challah, which will be delicious and wonderful. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sheichem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'd like to offer you a blessing on this Shabbat, the blessing of our tradition that the Kohanim used to give to the people, and now for me to give to you. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's light shine upon you like these Shabbat lights and be gracious to you and all who you love. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God gaze upon you and give you the blessing of health and of peace, and we say, Amen. Please join me in the Kiddush, the blessing over the wine. Yom HaShishi v'chulu shamayim baratz v'chutz v'am v'yichal Elohim b'yom hashvi'i melachto asher asa v'yishbot b'yom hashvi makomoto asher asa v'yivarech Elohim et yom hashvi v'kadesh ato kivo shavad mikomoto asher bara Elohim lasod Savrin Rabbanan v'Rabotai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'avahu v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikrahei kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim V'shabbat kodshecha be'avahu v'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Now, I know you're going to have dinner in just a little while, but let's make motzi while we're together. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, Shabbat shalom. As my mother would say, b'tzeavon, which is Hebrew for bon appetit, meaning that it should taste good. Well, it's almost dark actually, so let's go outside to greet the Sabbath bride. I know it's going to get bumpy, as it always does, but we'll come out, see the beautiful green outdoors. Okay, well, the sun is about to set, and so let's greet the Shabbat bride with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala pene, Shabbat nekabla, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom umevorach. Okay, it's great to be outside, but unpredictable things can occur, like lots of dogs barking, planes flying overhead, but at least we're connecting with nature, right? Especially Minnie, who loves being outside. And while we're outside, I want to take just a moment to speak about this week's Torah portion. This week's Torah portion is called Shoftim, which means judges. And when I used to serve as a student rabbi, an intern in a synagogue in New York called Central Synagogue, they had a tradition that every year on this Shabbat, the Shabbat of the Torah portion Shoftim, which means judges or judgments, they would honor all of the attorneys and judges in the community, anyone who's involved in helping the world in a formal way be more just. And for a while I thought, well, is that fair? I mean, there are other people who serve people in this community. There are teachers and there are nurses and so forth. And they found other opportunities to honor them. But there was something about harnessing this aspect of Torah, which is that justice is core to a fair and good and content society. And the famous line from this Torah portion is, Tzedek, tzedek tirdof, which means justice, justice you shall pursue. The rabbis asked, why does it say justice twice? Why doesn't it just say tzedek tirdof, tzedek tirdofu? Why does it say tzedek, tzedek tirdof? Why does it say it twice? And they said, because if it just said it once, you might think it's applying to other people. In other words, yeah, people out there, they should be more fair, they should be just, or the criminal justice system should be more just, but it says it twice to remind us that it's not just they that need to be more just and to pursue justice, but I need to also. We each need to. The rabbis also pointed out that it doesn't just say that tzedek is a good idea, justice is a good idea. It specifically says tirdof, meaning pursue it, chase after it, fight for it. And I think this year, as much as any other year, there's been a lot of talk about where are there aspects of our society where there needs to be more justice, and what is our own role as individuals? Not saying politicians need to solve it, or government needs to solve it, or judges for that matter need to solve it, but what about us, each of us as a citizen? And so a very, very touching Torah portion, not to mention that the word tzedek is the cornerstone of the word tzedakah. And that means that tzedakah doesn't really mean charity, does it? It means making the world which isn't fair a little bit more fair, making the world which isn't just yet a little bit more just. That's why we give tzedakah. We acknowledge that there's an unfairness, that there are people who don't have what they need, and it's our role to pursue that justice as Jewish people, as human beings in the world. Well, thanks for being with us on Shabbat. I say us as if Minnie is a person. Let's end with the singing of Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, Imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. My dear friends, from our home to your home, with love and affection, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
When the sun has set on a Friday night, bringing peace into your home, families will gather all around singing Shabbat Shalom. Everybody sing Shalom, Shalom, Shalom.